Everyone, it's Kathy, and welcome back here to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Today's a recorded video, as has been the case with most of my videos recently. I am hoping to soon get back to doing my lives once a week, but until then, I'll continue with my recorded videos as I am still in hopes of my health improving. I did get a call from my doctor this past Saturday morning, as a matter of fact. I had some blood work done on Friday, and my potassium was dangerously low. And so he has ordered me some potassium to start taking by mouth once a day. We're hoping by Friday when I see him, things are going to be improved. They'll probably do another blood panel. But anyway, that's what's going on here with me. I always like to try to kind of give y'all an update. As you can see, I have the new annual catalog. This does premiere, which means that you can order from this catalog starting Wednesday, May the 1st. So this is when I can open this catalog. I'll do a video then with a walkthrough and hopefully some tips to help you understand the layout a little bit better, because this does have a bit of a learning curve. They made a lot of changes is what happened. And we are not real good with changes. We all know that. But today we're going to work with this stamp and die set called Country Birdhouse. Now it comes in a collection. I think it's called Country Woods. I believe that's the name of it. But it has a stamp and a die. Now I have some of the dies off because I'm going to be using them. But I wanted to show you what I did with this set. I'm going to move the stamps, and this is a photopolymer stamp set. So, really nice set. Here is the card that we're going to be making today. Isn't that adorable? I love the birdhouse. I love the flowers that are in with this one. I did showcase some paper that is the perennial lavender. This piece here, I used some gorgeous grape. And for my birdhouse, I did use the Country Wood. This is new designer series paper. And I pulled in some gray. Now I'm going to do the birdhouse very similar, but I'm going to switch around. Instead of doing the white scallop, I'm going to do it in black. And I'll make this little piece here white. And we're going to see how that looks. You never know when you're changing up your colors, how much it can impact your card. Now we're going to start out with a traditional 8.5 or 5.5 piece of cardstock, which is half a sheet, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. This gives us our A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. For our mats, we are going to have a piece of that beautiful perennial lavender. Isn't that beautiful? And we're going to use that to go, we're going to need a mat. We need a white mat. So let me grab some white cardstock. And I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to come into here and slice it at 4. And then I'm going to turn it, line it up at 5 1/4, and slice again. This is going to give me my piece to build everything up on, and then we'll put this on our card base. So as you can see, this is going to go here, like that. And then we're going to need a piece of this beautiful, gorgeous grape. And I have it in this new embossing folder called Eyelet 3D. It's a beautiful folder. So let's go ahead and run that through our die cut machine. And while we have this up, we're going to go ahead and do some die cutting. So I need my number 1 plate, my embossing folder with the paper, with the cardstock in it, and my number 4 specialty plate. Anytime you're doing a 3D embossing folder with the Stampin' Up! Stampin' Up's emboss and cut machine. This is the sandwich you're going to use. So that is done. I'm going to leave that there because we're going to grab our other plates and put those on. I want to show you just how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's going to go on the other side of our piece. And now I have a couple of more leaves that I need to cut. And I think I need, yeah, this is the two I need. So I'm just going to crank this through. I've already gotten quite a few of my pieces are cut because when I did that first card, I kind of did an overkill with my flowers. So I have plenty of flowers left over. So let's go ahead and pull this one off. You can see that the piece is still in there. Sometimes we can just drop those and they'll pop out. And sometimes they don't. When they don't, you're going to need your pokey tool so you can poke those out. And our Take Your Pick tool has that capability. And so I'm going to hold it like this. And you've got some little holes in there that allows you just to poke that in. And then your piece just comes out like that. I'm going to lay that over there with my other pieces. And now we need to cut the actual birdhouse. And I'm using a piece of that Designer Series paper to cut my birdhouse. So line that up in there like so. Crank it through. And then we're going to lay this to the side. Here's our birdhouse, so cute. And now we got a couple more pieces to cut. We need that little black piece, and we need to make that one little area white. So I'm going to lay those in like that, and then just crank everything back through. Get these pieces cut. What I like to do is I like to just lay all of my die cuts over with everything. And then once I get everything cut, we're good to go. So I do need the bottom and I need this top piece. So I need these two pieces and I think I want to do those out of the basic gray. And I do have another piece. So we're going to lay this right here and this right here. I'm going to see if I can tape those both down with one tape. I think that's going to hold everything. I just remembered we need one more piece. So we'll lay those there. This little piece right here. And that little piece got static in it and it just wants to carry on. And that's okay, I got it. We are going to need to cut one more thing, but we can wait on that for just a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this piece in about like that. Now you can connect these if you like, or I found it just as easy just to go ahead and put some tape on them or glue, whatever you're using. I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus. Make sure my flowers are going in the right direction. And then I'm going to come over to about here. Once I know everything's straight, I'm going to give that a good press. And then this one, I'm going to do the same way, but I'm going to let it overlap. So I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And then what I want to do is make sure everything is nice and even. And then give that a nice little press. So the front of our card base is now ready, and we're ready to build up our birdhouse. So I'm going to bring the birdhouse over, and we've got all of our little pieces for our birdhouse. We've got the bottom section. We have our little 8-pitch roof. We've got our little scallop. And a little white decorative piece. These are hard to put together until you glue, so I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing. So I know this piece is going to the very top, so I'm going to run glue all along this piece. I want to make sure that that's nice and straight, so I'm looking at it from the back. It looks really good. Now we can take this tiny little white piece, and I like to run glue right against the gray piece. And then we'll just set this into the glue. Like that. And then we'll do the same thing with this piece. We'll just run glue. And then I'm going to set that right up in that top peak. Like so. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to put glue on the back of it. And then set this down. It's almost like putting a little puzzle together because you're piecing over top of your already back cut piece. So that looks good. Now we have our little hole that's going to go right there. And I've got the little piece that goes in. You could put that in, leave it out, or you could even put it right down here to make it look like a little perch. more than likely that's going to get covered up, but we're going to do it. We're going to put a glue dot, a dot of glue. Ooh. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool and I'm going to pick that up and just set it directly into that glue, just like that. So now we have our birdhouse pretty much done. And that's going to sit on here about like this. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. I think they're stunning. Now I took the liberty of die cutting some of these pieces ahead of time. You also saw me cut a couple more leaves, but this was time consuming. So I thought for the sake of the video, I would go ahead and do some of these ahead of time. And that's what I did. So I've got some different little flowers and some leaves, and we're going to build these on our actual birdhouse. So I want to take one of these, and we're going to use mini dimensionals to put these down with so that they have a little bit of life to them. And when I say life, I want them to look three-dimensional. So I'm going to put one there. One right here. This one we're going to put flat down. And let's put this one right about there. So we'll put a dimensional on the back of this one. And let's put this one right here. We're going to put a dimensional on the back of it. And then we have this little ditty. And we're going to stick him right about there. And I think for this one, I'm just going to put a little glue on the back. And stick it down like that. Now we're going to stick our leaves in so that they're coming out in a variety of places. So let's put some glue on the back of this. And then we have one more leaf, and I think I want this one coming out from under here. So don't be afraid to lift your dimensionals up and tuck a leaf under it. So we didn't need all those flowers, so I still have flowers left over for another time. Isn't that so cute? But we need our little bird. So I have stamped our bird. And all we have to do now is color him and die cut him. This is such a cute little bird to color. So I'm going to grab a dark lemon lolly and how about a bubble zap and a boho blue. And I'm going to grab an orange, the pumpkin pie. And that's my color palette for this. Boho blue, these are all in darks. The boho blue is light. Light boho blue, dark bubble bath, dark lemon lolly, and dark pumpkin pie. So I'm going to start off with my yellow. Lemon lolly. And I'm just going to put down a little color on its belly. like that. And then we'll come back in with a little bit of the bubble bath. And I just want to blend that in. See how when you blend it, it gives it that orange look. I'm going to take my boho blue. Out. And then I want to go back in with my bubble bath. Look how pretty he's turning out. Don't be afraid to blend your colors. That's what they're there for. And alcohol blends, they don't call them Stampin' Blends for nothing. They are so much fun to work with. And look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now I'm going to go back in with my yellow. Just like that. And then a little tiny bit of the orange. And I'm using the bullet tip for it. His beak and his little feet. And our little bird is done. So all we have to do now is grab our die and we're going to cut him out. I'm going to use my little machine. So I'm going to actually cut him off like that. Here's my die. So I'm going to line this up over top of my little birdie. And tape it down. After this, I'm just going to grab my little mini cut and emboss machine. That out. Now our little bird is ready to get perched right about here. So I'm going to pop our birdie up on dimensionals. And I think he will accommodate two of the big ones. Just like that. Is that not simply adorable? Now we're all ready to put this on here. And again, I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals because I want this card to have some depth. All right, so we'll pull these all off. And now we have to decide exactly where we want to put this. So I'm going to bring it up to the top. And I'm using my line of my paper to kind of center it. I might go from just a bit higher. The reason I'm coming up higher is I want to give myself room down here for my sentiment. So that's my purpose of doing it like that. All right, so that is done, and all we're going to do is we're going to put it on our basic gray cardstock. So pretty. I love the way this is turning out. And if you notice the birds, I used the same colors, but the way I colored, there's a little variation in the two birds. It's sort of like in real life. There's no two birds that are identical. And I think it's so true when you're coloring. You're going to have some things that are going to really be the same, but you're going to have things when you color, they're never quite identical, unless you're just doing a solid color. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on our card base. I will have all of the measurements and the entire description, instructions, and everything on my blog. So go check that out. You can see pictures of the cards, all the products that I used to make it, the order numbers, also the video if you need to go back and watch it. So it's all on my blog. It's a great place to go for your little bit of inspiration. So I'm going to take a piece of and I got a scrap of white. I want to stamp my sentiment first. And I think for this one, I'm going to stamp it in black. So I'm going to go in for my VersaFine Onyx Black because I love this when I'm doing sentiments. It's always nice and bright. And I'm going to use from this set, Hoping You Have the Best Day Ever. I'm getting a little head start on some birthday cards because you never can have too many birthday cards. I think y'all all know that if you make cards, that's probably the one card you make the most. So I'm going to pick that up and ink it. Then I'm coming down to the bottom as far as I can and stamp. Very, very rich. Now I'm going to put this in my trimmer, and I want it to be a half an inch. And I think that is going to be, it's going to need to be 3/4. Okay, you might have to recut the other piece. I'm going to cut just a tiny bit off of here. And there's no exact science to this. Just trim your sentiment up like you like it. That's going to end up being about 4.5. And then we're going to lay it on here. Cut that off. Yeah, like about 1/8 of an inch. Something like that. And see how pretty that looks. This is going to give you a really nice look on the front of your card. So bring our card back over. And I am going to glue this. I'm trying to decide, do I want to do it straight down or do I want to pop this up? I think I'm going to do this one a little bit different. We're going to pop it up. So let me grab my dimensionals. And there we go. Now we're ready to sit this right here. And for this, I am going to glue it directly down. So I'm going to put glue on the back. And I want to slide it under that leaf. And give everything a press. Isn't that gorgeous? Now for our little crowning touch, we're going to grab the iridescent pearl basic jewels, and we're going to put some little gems inside of our flowers. And I'm going to use the small ones. Like that. So pretty. And then to give it that little crowning touch, I'm going to grab my favorite linen thread, and we're going to do a loopy bow. And I've had so many people to ask me to show how to do this, my little finger bow. It's very simple. You want to lay your ribbon or your twine across your hand like that. Hold that tail with your thumb on your middle finger. Wrap it over your index and then under, over your middle finger and back under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And then I'm going to bring that back around here and I'm going to pull off a good little amount, out like that. This is where your tying comes in. You're going to take and bring that over the middle and tuck it down in between your index finger and your middle finger. And that's going to create this loop. Then you're going to bring this all the way back over and feed it back through that loop. That's what makes your knot. Then once you get that where you want it, you want to rock it back and forth so it snugs up. And then pull it off your fingers. Pull your tails down. And then fluff your loops. And that is like the easiest little loop bow that you could ever make. Cut your tails, and you're ready to put your little loopy bow wherever you want it to go. So I am going to take a glue dot and I'm going to roll it in my fingers. I need it to be small to go behind this, and I'm going to set that right on top of my birdhouse, just like that. See where it's at? Then I'm going to take this piece, decide which side I want to be the front. And then we're going to press it in to that glue dot just like that. And we've got our little loopy bow and little tails. And it looks so rustic like that. Now all we have left to do is to stamp our inside. And I'm going to grab some white cardstock. And I'm going to cut a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to stamp our birthday sentiment. And I think for this, I want to say, I'm going to do this one that says, let's get our celebration on. This stamp set, I believe, is retiring, but I want to use that in the happy birthday. So I am going to grab this one. And this one. You can see I have used this happy birthday quite a bit. So I want this to go right about there. think I'm going to do one and then the other. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to stamp this in the black. And then I want to stamp this in a color. And I want it to be something very festive. I think I'm going to go in with the gorgeous grape. And then I'm going to pick up this little swirlies. This just looks festive. And we are going to stamp some of these here and here, and maybe there. Aren't they cute? Little swirlies. Now we are ready to get this on the inside of our card. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue for this. Just like this. And there is our inside. What a festive little birthday card to send to a friend, family member, whatever. Who wouldn't love this cute little birdhouse with the flowers and the happy birthday sentiment? I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this card. It was so much fun. And I really think I like the scallop in the black better than the scallop in the white. It really shows off better. So this is where your playing comes in and how you design your card. But I think they're both beautiful and both are very festive. And who wouldn't love to get these? Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye bye.